Well, good morning. This is my workout glasses. Back in the day when I used to shoot tons of these, I would just go out after I worked out and shoot a video. Usually I'd wait till after a shower. I didn't shower today. I got a nice hotel. Anyway, Lanny Poffo. Lanny Poffo is the brother of the great macho man Randy Savage, who many to this day think was the greatest wrestler of the 80s or maybe of all time. And Mr. Poffo speaks of his brother in reverential terms. In fact, he gives full props to Randy, as far as Randy is the reason that he's in the business, and his father, somebody Poffo, I forgot. Anyway, Lanny is known for being tight in the business. He has every dollar he ever made. He's known for being a smart person. He's much like his character, the genius. He actually wrote all those poems that he made where he would besmirch different people and make fun of them. And he says some acidic things. He had some very harsh things to say about Ole Anderson, which I don't think were fair. I don't think Ole Anderson is broke. He said something about how much money he has and how much Ole has. I don't believe that Ole Anderson is broke. I don't think so. I think Ole Anderson probably has trouble dealing with reality, or he's sick or something. He's an asshole. I don't think it was right what he said about Ric Flair. And I don't agree with Mr. Anderson about a lot of things. So anyway, let's get to Lanny. Lanny made a very good point in one of his videos, and that's the main reason that I'm behind this. He said, don't give advice. He said, because a wise man doesn't need it, and a fool won't heed it. So I gave some advice to a young man. I normally ask people before I give them advice. I don't just come right out and say it. I ask. And I was giving him some advice about the fact that I think he should buy himself a fourplex where he could watch his properties and maximize his return, because you need to watch your properties. Having all these rentals all around, I think will make you insane. I don't know if he really got it. But yeah, I think that was very good advice on Lanny's part. And one of the things that I noticed on Mr. Poff's on Lanny's feed, he was called a jabroni, a jobber. And the people today, you young people today, really don't understand the era. You really don't understand what was going on then. And I don't fault you with that, because you have been seduced by Vince McMahon and that whole bunch up there. And there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. There's nothing wrong at all with the product they're making. There's nothing wrong with the guys and the girls that are up there doing what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with it. And I could not critique it because I don't know anything about it. But what you have to understand is, regardless of what Mr. Poffo was, whether he was a jobber, as somebody called him this morning, or a jabroni, or a carpenter, it doesn't matter. He was essential to the big show, to give the name of that big fella that who's the giant right now. They were a part of all being a part of the show. Everybody was important. They all knew it, and they were all a part of it. And if you really want to know, in my opinion, based on what I know, Lanny would be a carpenter. He is not, or a worker, one of the two. I don't really think that his career, as far as his work, was enough to really label him as a worker. I don't think that he was up to someone like a Dick Slater, or up to someone of that nature. You know, I think Dick Slater would be the ultimate worker. He didn't hold a lot of world titles, but Dick was known to go a lot of places. He was a really tough guy, and he made a lot of money, worked in a lot of places. He was a worker. Now you have the stars, which are like Harley Race, Ric Flair, Sting. Those people would be who I'd call superstars. They're the ones who got people in, Hulk Hogan being the greatest of all. But someone like Lanny, he is a carpenter, because he would be a guy that would come in and he would work with you and he would make you look good, and you could depend on him to do things that were reliable, and he wasn't going to do anything to get you hurt or to scare you or do anything to you, because that was the point of that era. It is not who is the toughest guy or who could beat each other up. That was not the point. They went out, as Al Snow put it, he said when they go out and shake hands, what they're saying is, we're working together and they're the marks. That's what they're saying. I'm going to put you over, you're going to get me heat, and we're gonna fool all these people, and everybody's a mark. The promoter's a mark. The fans are definitely all marks, and we're going to get paid, and we're going to make each other look good. That's our job. And when they stepped in the ring, that's what you wanted. You didn't want someone who wasn't going to do that. That's what that era was about. And to a certain extent, Lanny was a big part of that. And to a certain extent, Lanny was great, and I don't know if he belongs in the Hall of Fame or whatever, and I got off track. Anyway, I wanted to address a couple of those concerns, a couple of those things that he said. I think Lanny, he had a good career. He actually has a win over Hulk Hogan. He actually managed Mr. Perfect. He managed some very important wrestlers. He had almost a lucha libre type style. He was an acrobatic guy. He could fall. He was a great guy, and he's still working to this day. And I think he's a really smart person with his money, and he's very smart with his investments, and you'd do wise to follow his advice as far as what you're managing your money. Anyway, just want to speak to that. Bye-bye. Take a look. That's a little pond out here in Tennessee. It's pretty, isn't it? Peace.